down here at the bottom right of Antigua Shipyards is our Terran player.
MVP Dream.
And over here on the right side of the map is our Zerg player. Really wants this shot at the up and down matches.
So lucky.
He's one game away from doing so. Oh, hey, guess what? I was just checking my Twitter account. Guess how many followers I have right now?
How many do you have?
3,333.
That's nice, man. What is your Twitter?
It is Moletrap.
I'm Epic So Wolf on Twitter. I don't know exactly how many followers I have. It's not as cool as yours, though. I haven't reached 5,000 followers yet, but I'm actually approaching 2,000 tweets. Let me try to coincide my 2,000th tweet with my 5,000 followers.
So your 2,000th tweet will be in celebration of your 5,000th follower?
Maybe something like that. Try to make that work somehow. Follow us on Twitter. Follow GOMTV on Twitter as well. GOMTV posts all sorts of updates on scheduling.
Yeah.
And special events, anything like that. So
even though I work here, sometimes I find out stuff first from the GOMTV Twitter.
Yeah, man. It's actually how things go. Whoever updates that GOMTV Twitter, he's actually the guy who controls everything. He's like sitting on this big chair.
He controls our perception of reality. Dream building his barracks at the top of his ramp here. We got gas first coming out after the hatchery from our Zerg player Lucky.
Yep, so get that gas ASAP. We're going to see a very similar opening to what we saw last game from Dream. I don't think we're going to see another timing attack, but we are going to see a Reactor Hellion opener.
Makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense. Now, the reason why I'm so certain it's a Reactor Hellion, for those of you guys who are maybe newer to StarCraft or don't understand the power of the Reactor Hellion opening, it's such a safe opening for Terrans to do. You can do damage with it, but it forces spines, which are very expensive, and of course each spine that is made is one drone lost. Plus, you can control the watchtowers with it. It's a very mobile unit you can get out. You need those Hellions to be able to control the map against Speedlings. You just can't do it with Marines. The Speedlings will always be able to overwhelm your Marines. You have to have those units that can deal the damage to Zerglings and control the middle of the map. So it's a very strong opening that can do damage, but also more importantly helps you control the map.
Yep. And you can pretty much tell that that's what he's doing. Aside from the fact you can almost assume that's what Terrans are going to do against Zerg these days, he's building that factory right next to the barracks. So that means he wants it nearby so he can switch it a lot faster. Because of course, in StarCraft 2, you can switch add-ons between different buildings.
Yeah. Can't put a machine shop on a barracks in StarCraft 1.
No. I actually really like that mechanic. I think it's really cool. It allows for people to do some clever stuff. It
was my favorite thing about actually my favorite thing about StarCraft 2 when the videos first came out was that you could lower depots. I was like, what? As a Terran player in StarCraft 1, man.
It's so true. Because that's what you used your depots for 9 times out of 10 anyway, was blocking stuff, right?
Yeah.
SCVs could get in and...
I can't tell you how many times I thought it was time for me to move out, so I lifted up my barracks, and then the Zerglings came in, and I was like, well, I guess I lose now.
Yep.
That's my reality. That's what StarCraft 1 was like.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And then, of course, you can't land it, so you can't even build more Marines. Or sometimes you'd actually just destroy a depot. Like, that's how you lowered the depots in StarCraft 1, was just destroying them.
Yeah, man, that's actually what you had to do. Queen's destroying these Hellions.
Yep. Buying some time for that spine crawler to get into a really nice position at the top of that ramp. Making it really difficult for Hellions to get in there.
Getting all nostalgic about StarCraft 1 now. About wall-offs. Hellions are, still being so persistent. This is something I'm really critical of a lot of Terran players with their Hellions. Yeah, sometimes if you can sneak by the spine, that's fine. You can get in there and do some damage. But if you keep poking, it's almost as if he's checking to see if the spine's still there. It's like, yeah, it's still there, man. Every time you do that, your Hellion takes a hit.
Oh, look at that reactor. It's still part of that wall, even though he's not using it right now.
Raise those depots right on time.
Yeah, for those of you that didn't play StarCraft 1, walling off was really finicky.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
It would be different, like, if your barracks was above the depot, it would be a complete seal, and if it was below the depot, it wouldn't be.
Yeah. So
stuff like that.
There's always that game you're playing against a bad pro who wants to send his zealots into your base. Hold that thought. These Hellions are going to do battle with Roaches. They need to go home. The Zealots, man. You think your wall off is tight and the first Zealot comes in, and you like have to micro your heart off?
It just walks like all the way around the side of your wall, and you're like, I built that depot up against the side of the map. It wouldn't let me build it any farther. Why is there a gap?
Will you micro your heart off with your Marines and your SCBs before your Vulture gets out, and then you're like, all right, I got this, and then the second Zealot comes in, and you're like, oh, no. Oh, man, these Zerglings are actually going to do some damage to these SCBs. Wow. There's no answer for this, and the Roach aggression here actually is just, there's no answer for this for Dream.
He's going to try and bust this wall down, and he's going to bust down the reactor that was in the way. Zergling's getting now as well. Lucky may just win the game right here. Dream has nothing to respond to this with. He's actually just canceling all these bunkers he was trying to desperately build. GG. And GG.
Yeah, Lucky actually, he made those Roaches, and I didn't think anything of it at the time because I was like, well,
yeah, we were too busy like reminiscing about buildings, and I was like, oh, well, he made Roaches, but he'll respond to it.
I thought, well, Dream's seen this with the Hellions. Surely he'll have bunkers up in time, but he actually didn't start making bunkers until the Roaches were on top of his base.
Yeah.
And that is that, man. Lucky with a quick 2-0 against Dream. The first game, you know, he held off all ins, and then the second game was like, well, I'm just going to do a timing attack, and for some reason, you actually just aren't going to react to it, and I'm going to win. And Moltrap and Wolf are going to talk about StarCraft 1 and ignore the Roaches because we're like, well, he's making Roaches, he's going to get aggressive, but the bunkers will be up.
Okay, 6 Roaches, but he'll have Marauders or tanks or something in a
bunker.
Well,
he'll have bunkers up. He should have bunkers up. He sees them with the Hellions. He should be making those bunkers, but he wasn't. He was like, my Hellions can buy enough time. No, they can't.
And the Zerglings, though, going in ahead of the Roaches, that was a really smart move, too. He really was able to kind of break that, really crack that first door really quickly, kill off those initial Marines, make sure the SCVs couldn't escape as easily.
Got the Marauder there. And there were just not enough units up for Dream. You know, he played everything pretty safely with his expansion, except that he didn't have those bunkers up in time. And he actually had enough time. I know it was close positions on Antigua. It's not, you know, it's not like the furthest rush distance in the game, but he actually had enough time to make those bunkers. Anyway, guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break, so don't go anywhere.